I think NACA is here to help the entrepreneurs within the community access funding that will create an economy, create themselves an opportunity to provide for themselves and their families, and provide opportunity for their community to generate revenue and be a positive influence within the communities. Well, in my opinion, I think that a better understanding of what is out there in terms of funding and financing for them. I think a lot of entrepreneurs within the Indigenous sector are looking for one solution, one pot of money that will solve all their problems. But I think it's a situation where you're going to have to go to multiple places and find various groups that will support what you're doing. You know, you go from, oftentimes I talk to people who are very good at what they do and they become, you know, and then now that they're an entrepreneur, you don't get to do what you're really good at 100% of your time. Now it's maybe 50% of the time, the rest of your time is sales and marketing and bookkeeping and follow-ups and creating you know, sales opportunities or trying to sell yourself to somebody to hire you for something else. So I think that really getting a hold of what your skills and abilities are and your strengths and weaknesses, you know, I think NACA does provide some opportunities for training and for those entrepreneurs for success, because I think you know, the long run, the success of our communities is based on the you know, the hard work individuals are willing to do and the support they can get from, you know, the organizations that like ours and like NACA. Yeah, well, for the National Aboriginal Trust Officers Association, we're working a lot with the community-based trust funds that are set up within each community, or a community that has settled a land claim, for example, or set up some sort of fund. What we're trying to do is have the community have the discussion of what's important to them, so when they actually get their hands on the invested dollars or the dollars that they're going to be responsible for managing, whether they're investing in the publicly traded markets or they're setting aside a portion of their capital to be invested within the community, you know, have the discussion and figure out how, what would be the best opportunity for them and what would really help their community meet its goals and, you know, help entrepreneurial needs. And then there's, of course, all the other elements of the community that would, with health and social services and infrastructure and education and you know, just ways of the community in governing itself in an appropriate manner. I think you have to have those discussions first, set up your trust in an appropriate way, and an entrepreneurial and community development will be part of that. I think you can tell when somebody is, you know, genuine in what they're doing. And I went to a conference a number of years ago, and an elder that opened up the conference said, you know, everybody who's here to speak is obviously really smart and really good at what you do. I want you to throw away your notes and just speak from the heart and tell people what you do and why you do it. And I think that anytime I go and I present and I talk, I don't really go off of any notes. You know, what I'm usually there to talk about is what we're doing. And in terms of the, you know, the work that we do, there's a need, and there's a need out there for it, and we try to address it in the most effective way possible. And we realize that, you know, culturally, you know, from Newfoundland to British Columbia, north to the north, you know, each Indigenous group has its strength and ability to exert its culture and its traditions. And I think that when we talk about learning about how each community, you know, solves problems and addresses the issues within their communities, it comes from the heart. And I think that's, you know, will filter out a lot of the, you know, the hyperbole and the talk that's out there. So I mean, I think that's where you see it, as that filter. You know, you have to understand, I think for an entrepreneur, you have to understand the hard work it's going to take to get to the point where you feel that you're a successful person. If you are a plumber or a tradesperson and you just want to do that 100% of your time, find a job or an employer that will hire you to do that 100% of the time. If you want to work for yourself, understand that that's a huge step, and you're going to be step back from, as I said earlier, you step back from doing it 100% of your time and learning about all the other aspects of a business that you're going to have to be now responsible for. So not only for yourself, but for your family and any other employees that you're going to take on. So it's a serious responsibility. There are a lot of opportunities for training that are out there. So I think that if you can take advantage of those, then take advantage of those, because it'll help you in the long run.